after this game, a lot of people are talking about, well, the Bulls blew another lead again. And here in this video, I'm going to explain to you why the Bulls continue to blow leads. Honestly, just to sum it up quickly, it's because of analytics, right? The Bulls analytically they don't have 3-point shooters, but that should not stop them from taking threes, okay? But what happens is that you see this Bulls team, when we see another team start going on a run, they cannot keep up with that opposing team when they start going on that run, because they start responding to the 3-point shots with 2-point shots. They start responding with, the analytically good shots by the other team with analytically bad shots on our team, right? We start seeing a lot of post-up Vooch, a lot of DeMar DeRozan mid-range. That's the reason why this Bulls team continues to blow leads. It's because when that other team starts going on that run, we can't keep up. Why? Because we're taking the wrong shots, okay? Let's just look at this shot chart in the third quarter, okay, of this game. Now, one thing that stands out to me immediately is just look at all these shots in the paint that the Pacers made, right? They were getting to the cup easily. They were taking high-quality shots in the paint, okay? And then also, to add on top of that, they took 11 threes that quarter. They made 6, okay? That's obviously the big burner for the Bulls, is that you see these 11 threes being taken. A lot of them were open shots by Buddy Hield, right? So, at the end, the Bulls, they lost this quarter by 12 points, and it's not a shocker, okay? Now, compared to this Bulls shot chart, these two mid-range shots here, to me, are a little bit unnecessary. I'm not going to complain too much about it, especially this one where I know that Vooch had writing down on the clock, or on the shot clock here. But we see the Bulls, it's an okay shot selection, but to me, the biggest thing is that we're seeing some of these, post-up plays in this third quarter that suddenly bogged down the Bulls' offense and didn't exactly really didn't result into really that good of shots. Now, we look at the box score of this third quarter here. We see that the Bulls and the Pacers, they basically took the same amount of shots this quarter, okay? One took 21, the other took 20. So the Bulls actually outshot the Pacers. It wasn't the turnovers in this quarter, okay? But obviously the big thing, the Pacers making 15, but you see here the biggest reason why is because the Pacers were getting analytically the better shots, okay? They were getting the shots that have a higher chance of going down, hence getting right into the paint. The Bulls had some shots here in the paint for sure, but I would argue that the Pacers were a little bit better because they're like right at the cup, and some of the Bulls are a little bit farther away. But also, we see some of these mid-range shots here. And look, the Pacers took 2 as well, okay? But biggest thing for me is that I am seeing these 3-point looks by the Pacers, and they took 3 more than the Bulls, but in the end, it's a big, big difference at the end of the day, which is that the Bulls only made 4, Pacers only made 6. Both teams made 4 free throws, but at the end of the day, like I said, you shoot a lot of threes, it opens up your court, hence then the layups become a lot more easier. Analytically, again, the Pacers just straight up analytically beat the Bulls that quarter, okay? And if you're wondering, like, well, is this the case how it is through, like, other comebacks? Well, let's just look at this quarter, for example, okay? This is the comeback for the Brooklyn Nets where the Bulls, they blew a lead against the Brooklyn Nets. So I don't think it was that big. But in that second quarter, the Bulls just absolutely sucked. And we saw the Brooklyn Nets just get absolutely on fire. Namely, it was Joe Harris going 6 for 6 from 3-point range. Hell, the Bulls, I've never seen them have one player go 6 for 6 in a quarter from 3-point range, except for Zach LaVine maybe when he had 11 threes against Philadelphia 76ers. Like, this to me should show you that we need guys that are just willing to launch threes, okay? Whether they're a role player, I don't even care. But guys should just launch threes because that's just a better shot. But we have guys on our team that are hesitant to shoot threes, hesitant to make the right pass for those threes, and then also they're willing to take the mid-range shot over shooting a 3-point look. And by the way, these threes by Joe Harris, not all of them were open, right? We saw a lot of them were contested, but because it's end of the shot clock type stuff, instead of launching a mid-range, we should be launching threes. And in this quarter, the Bulls just got straight up. They lost this quarter analytically, right? They got outshot by the Brooklyn Nets, okay? They again, 24 shots by the Bulls, 23 shots by the Brooklyn Nets. It wasn't like the Bulls didn't get shots this quarter, right? It just straight up the Brooklyn Nets just straight up just launched the threes. They made the threes. Bulls took 4 threes and made no threes, hence the difference in the quarter. By the way, the Brooklyn Nets did not shoot a free throw in this quarter, okay? Bulls shot 4, okay? 10 made field goals, 13 made field goals. Instead, though, we have a 10-point deficit for the Bulls in this quarter. Hence why, analytically, again, the Bulls start losing leads because analytically, they're in the 90s right now, okay? Analytically, they're taking some of the worst shots. They're running one of the worst offensive schemes I have ever seen in a while, and it is truly starting to piss me off. I am not happy seeing the Bulls post up Vucevic or post up DeMar DeRozan or have DeMar DeRozan shoot mid-range shots or seeing Patrick Williams, take mid-range shots instead. It truly drives me insane, and I really want this Bulls team to get out of it because we saw tonight against the Pacers. Like, look, they can make threes, but they have to continue to shoot these threes. In the first quarter, the Bulls made 10 threes. Okay, let's go back to this. In the first quarter where the Bulls put up 39 points, they shot 10 threes. Excuse me. They shot 10 threes, they made 4, but they put up 39 points. Other thing, too, is that they posted up Vooch once that quarter, okay? And it was on a mismatch where he was easily able to take advantage of it. But other than that, we saw guys just driving hard to the rim, hard to the rim, hard to the rim. We barely took any mid-range shots that first quarter. Look, okay? This one right here by P. Will, to me, was unnecessary, but he made it, okay? This one right here was a Levine step back. I didn't like that shot at all. I'm going to count these two as floaters, okay? I'm not going to count them as straight up mid-range because these are floater shots. But right here, just unacceptable. We don't need this shot. But again, though, we saw the Bulls launch more threes, get a ton of shots at the rim, and the Bulls put up a damn good quarter, okay? Pacers, on the other hand, we saw them. They started taking some mid-range shots as well in the first quarter. They were also just not making shots, okay? And this is the other reason why the Bulls continue to blow leads in their games is because they'll get a lead, for example, against this Pacers team when the Pacers just don't make shots in a quarter, right? See here, Pacers were 3 of 10, only 5 of 18 shooting, 27%, okay? So then quarter 2 comes around, okay? Bulls only shot 5 threes, they only put up 19 points, and they got outscored by 8. Pacers shot 11 threes, and look, big difference, right? And both teams made 8 shots, but Pacers had 2 more threes, and then I believe, they had more free throws as well, which is also part of the analytics, right? And free throws are good in the analytics. So you just see here that the Bulls suddenly, when the Pacers started to make their shots and they're not shooting 27%, they're shooting a pretty poor percent still, but they still put up more points than the Bulls because analytically they're getting the better shots. Third quarter comes around, we just explained it, right? And then in the fourth quarter, and we see here the Bulls actually started to take more threes, which was obviously really good, but Pacers, they just could not be stopped. Right? They shot 50% from the field. Bulls couldn't. This is one of those quarters for the Bulls where I can kind of live with it because they were taking better shots, almost. But we see here, which I'm going to pull up here, everyone says to go to Vucevic down the stretch of a game. They say, we stopped going to Vucevic. That's the reason we started to lose down the game. I'm sorry. I love Stacey King. I love Kendall Gill. I love Will Perdue. But they're just flat out wrong, okay? When they say, let's go down to Vucevic, let's play through Vuce, etc., they're wrong. They're just flat out wrong, because analytically, the post-up is just one of the worst things you can do in today's world, okay? Unless you're Nikola Jokic. That dude's an anomaly. He doesn't count. But if you're not an MVP candidate, you should not be posting up. And we see here, I have 3 possessions for you, which I broke down in another video that I dropped earlier, that we see here that the Bulls, they just straight up, they posted up Vooch, and it did not end up well. Okay, there was a play here where the Bulls actually got a 3-point shot off of Vucevic post up in the fourth quarter, but it was because the Pacers defense just completely fell apart in that one. And it wasn't because of Vucevic's posting up ability to draw a double team that suddenly the Bulls got a 3-point shot out of it. I broke this down in a different video. You can go watch that later. But if I hear again that the Bulls don't post up Vooch down the stretch one more time, I'm going to lose my mind, because in all these clips here, you can see that the Bulls, they were posting up Vooch in crunch time. Here, look, Vucevic missed it. Here, again, Vucevic, he passed it out. Bulls didn't get that great of a shot. He ended up shooting a 3 instead and made it, which you should do. And in this one right here, again, in crunch time, less than 5 minutes left to go, 3-point game in the fourth quarter. The Bulls were going to Vucevic down the stretch. It just did not work well, okay? It did not work out well at all. So I am just sick and tired of hearing all this sort of stuff from people that I don't think really look at the stats or really watch the games. They just kind of say stuff, and it's frustrating to watch. Now, one thing I want to look at too is, let's just look at this Bulls shot chart, okay? Bulls shot chart, biggest thing for me is that they have taken 1,700 mid-range attempts, which is just flat out ridiculous. You look at the points per mid-range shots at 0.9. Again, not great. Compare that to the points at the rim, right? You get 1.34 points per shot at the rim. So Bulls need to eliminate these mid-range attempts and get to the rim a lot more. Obviously, the 3-point attempts is something that we've already discussed, but again, we've seen that this Bulls team can shoot threes and make threes. So it's up to them to just shoot them. And it's on Billy Donovan to let that happen. But at the end of the day, I'm not here in charge of the team. Now, this is the Sacramento Kings shot chart, okay? And automatically, the biggest thing that jumps out to me is that they've taken basically 400 less mid-range attempts, okay, throughout the season. Again, 1,700, 1,300, okay? That's huge, okay? And also, when we look at it, they've taken basically 400 more threes, okay, 1,600, 2,000, right? This is the big difference. The Sacramento Kings have the second best offense right now in the NBA. The Bulls have the 24th ranked offense in the NBA. You wonder why? I'm telling you why. This is the full-out reason why. Sure, there are mid-range shots sprinkled here, like, they're kind of sprinkled in. Mid-range, though, for the Bulls is just something that they just do consistently. And you're wondering about the difference per game. The Bulls take 18 mid-range shots per game, okay? This is the highest in the NBA by a significant margin. The Atlanta Hawks shoot 15, and they're in second place in terms of mid-range shots per game. That is a significant difference, okay? That's a 3-shot difference. That's huge per game. That's a big difference. And Sacramento Kings, by the way, second-ranked offense in the NBA, 8.6. That's a 10-shot difference, okay? The mid-range just needs to stop. Look, I'm not here to tell you that the mid-range should be completely eliminated, okay? There are always times when the mid-range is necessary. I've always been one of those people that have said that you have to have the ability to score from mid-range because, especially in the playoffs, you're going to see teams really start to really lock down and start to take away, normal functions of offense, right? You're going to see teams take away the paint. You're going to see teams take away the three. So the mid-range, especially during crunch time, is definitely something that I'm all right with. But that should not be something that we actively seek out throughout the game, right? We should be resorting to the mid-range when necessary, right? Like, for example, Zach LaVine in that Brooklyn Nets game where he had a phenomenal game, he took a mid-range shot at the end of the third quarter where the clock was winding down. He tried to drive. It wasn't there. He stepped back for, I believe, a 16-footer. He drained it, right? That's fine, okay? Because, shot clock's winding down. I get it. But he also, throughout that game, was just shooting mid-range shots. And, again, he had a good game in terms of points, but the Bulls struggled offensively. And it wasn't just him not shooting threes. It was everybody not shooting threes in that game. Hence why the Bulls really struggled in that game offensively. In this game here, I don't think it's an absolute shocker that the Bulls put up 113 points in this one after only scoring 89 points against the Orlando Magic in their previous game where they only made 3 threes on 21 attempts. Again, the Bulls, they shot 35 threes in this one. They made 15. They put up 113 points, okay? This game right here, sorry, I guess it's 91 points for the Bulls in this one. This one, again, 3 of 21 from the field. It's just straight up big difference. And I'm telling you exactly how it is. Now, other thing I wanted to point out in this one, I bring up the Sacramento Kings because I think it's a good comp for this Bulls team because they have a guy in Domantas Sabonis that I think is kind of a similar player. Sabonis obviously doesn't shoot threes, but Sabonis is a guy that is known to be a post-up type player, and he has a decent post game down there. I'm willing to admit it. He's also a center that isn't necessarily that great defensively, right? But he's also very skilled where he's not just like a rim roller, okay? Now, let's compare the shot charts of Nikola Vucevic and Domantas Sabonis. One guy can shoot threes, and the other guy does not shoot threes, okay? Vucevic shoots a lot of threes. As you can see here, this is Vucevic's shot chart. But you see here, 329 mid-range attempts. That's way too many, in my opinion. But three-point attempts right here, what we're looking at, 264, okay? I would like to see this number rise because right now, as you can see here, that Vucevic has shot more mid-range attempts than three-point attempts, which to me it makes absolutely no sense whatsoever. I don't know why that's the case, but that's where we're at right now. Now Domantas Sabonis, okay? Domantas Sabonis, he does not have a really like a legit three-point shot. As you can see here, he's only taken 65 in the season, but he is taking less mid-range shots than Nikola Vucevic, who again, Vucevic can shoot the three. Sabonis really can't. Sabonis can hit that mid-range shot. He doesn't really take the threes. Look at all these shots in the paint. This is what Sabonis can do, and I think Vucevic can do this similarly, okay? This is something that I'm like really looking at, and they also have very similar numbers also this season, so to me, makes a lot of sense. If we just have Vucevic go into the paint more, and not through the post-up, by the way, through the pick and roll, this should help this Bulls team tremendously. And at the end of the day, I want Vuce to score. I really don't want him to pass. I know he's very unselfish, but he's a dude that I want to score the basketball. I'm not really asking him to be passing the basketball that often because, as we see, this Bulls team lacks three-point shooting. But if we get Vooch to score more inside, which Sabonis obviously has shown that I think Vooch can do that, right? Again, not that many attempts at the rim for Vucevic, 207 compared to Sabonis' 364, which, by the way, Sabonis has only taken 623 attempts on the season compared to Vucevic's 800. So, again, just to show you that this is, you know, big difference, and we're talking about a guy that has shot a lot more shots in Vucevic compared to Sabonis, okay? That's huge. So, Vucevic needs to get himself into the paint a lot more via the pick and roll, which is also on Billy Donovan to do such a thing. But if you're wondering if this site is trustworthy, well, here you go. It's very similar shot charts, okay? Here's Vooch for Basketball Reference. Here's Sabonis, okay? Here's Sabonis for Basketball Reference, okay? Same thing, right? And just look at here. Sabonis from 10 to 16 feet is only taking 33 shots on the season. Vooch is taking 107 shots on the season, okay? That is just straight up backwards. That's wrong. Everything's wrong about that. That needs to be eliminated from Vooch's game, which is also and part of the reason why is you gotta eliminate the post up from Vooch, okay? I broke that down in a different video, but this video is to show you why this Bulls team continues to blow leads. Why? Because at some point the opposing team is just going to get hot from 3-point range, or in this case, hot from 3-point range. It's not that hot, okay? It's not like they're on fire, right? They just happen to put up a decent quarter from 3-point range, and the Bulls couldn't do anything about it because, again, the Bulls respond to the threes by shooting twos. They respond to the threes by posting up, by shooting mid-range, by shooting analytically poor shots. That's the reason why this Bulls team continues to blow leads this entire season. And everyone keeps wondering, like, wow, why does this Bulls team suddenly suck on offense one quarter, but then the next quarter they look great? Here to tell you, when you analytically shoot bad shots, sometimes they go in, sometimes they don't go in. But at the end of the day, you're shooting twos, okay? It's a lot of mid-range. And when those mid-range shots don't go in, your offense looks a lot worse because you're not making it up by shooting threes. If we just shot those threes instead of those mid-range shots, they can go in, they can sometimes not go in. And it will look a lot better because the three is the equalizer. So, end of the day, the reason why the Bulls blow leads all the time is because analytically they're taking some of the worst shots ever. And it's truly frustrating to see this. And whether you think the Bulls should be rebuilding or retooling, nothing's going to change about this Bulls team until they get out of the 90s, okay? Get out of the 90s quickly, please. It is 2023. It's not 1993. Please get out of the 90s play style. It is driving me insane. And I hope Bulls fans, after these videos that I've released, understand that posting up in mid-range shots need to be eliminated from this Bulls offense. At least just don't prioritize them. But as long as Billy Donovan's here, I truly question if that's ever going to change. Like the video, don't like the video, I truly do not care. I'll see you on the next one. Peace.